What's good, gang? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about something which a lot of people really don't think about, and I would say that is opposition as opportunity. Because life is a series of just you solving problems. I think as soon as you get to adulthood, you just realize life is a series of problems, and those problems need solving. And life is all about adventure and true freedom. And I would say adventure and true freedom is basically just using your opposing forces as opportunities for you to actually do something great. So, not only as a way to solve a problem, but to actually then extract something greater than what you were yesterday from the opposition which you face. So, most of life's exciting beats, I would say, are actually you just conquering that which was your opposition and getting out of that with a greater lesson than the lessons which you would have had before you had started facing that opposition. Take the example of someone who's paragliding, right? The For a paraglider to actually just lift off, they need a lot of opposing air, which would then fill their chute. And with a lot of speed and a lot of resistance, they're then able to fly. And once they're airborne after all that opposition, then their ride smooths out and they can soar away. It's the same as life. Life is just you paragliding. You would think life goes smoothly for the people who never face opposition, but it's actually the other way around. A lot of people face opposition and then they use that opposition as the airflow that fills their chutes and makes them fly higher than they were flying before, because you know that once you are airborne, then you can actually start to fly higher and you can start seeing things that you'd never seen before. It's the after anxiety experience, which is basically excitement, because before anxiety, there is this bit of nothing. And then after anxiety, there's this bit of excitement. You're always anxious about something if you know that it will excite you. And between anxiety and that excitement is all this opposition. And it depends on how you use it. How do you use that opposition in your favor for you to actually be able to use the speed, the momentum, and the resistance which you have to soar away and actually fly higher than you've flown before. So the situation is always way different on the ground than it would be if you were flying in the air. What you only need to do is take action on your opposition. So opposition does not only mean the things which oppose you and me saying that you are right, there is something that is wrong, and that wrong thing is what you need to get out of the way for you to actually get things your own way. Opposition can be internal or external. It could be other people trying to get you to not succeed. It could also be the self-sabotaging habits and approaches and literally just the ideologies that you have that make you not want to make progress as an individual, and not want you to make friends, not want you to love your family better, not want you to do better for your relationships. And that all is opposition. What you need to do is then use it as opportunity. You can use it as opportunity to learn. You could use it as opportunity to do better. You could use it as opportunity to actually just prove to yourself that you are a specific type of person and not a quitter sometimes, and not a person who just gives up when things seem to hit the fan. Just like the paraglider is, you already have motion, you already have all this momentum that you've been building up from the moment which you started working on specific things that you work on, or the moment at which you just started being this specific type of person. There is always a motion from that. So that motion is the speed that you need to carry through with all this resistance that comes to you so that you can fly and fly high. What I'm what presents itself as opposition for your progress is always an opportunity then for you to extract more energy or extract more information or extract more out of yourself that you thought you could extract before. So then the two things which you have when you are on the ground will literally become either your enemy or your friend. You could not move because there is a lot of resistance, but that lot of resistance could be the reason why you carry more speed with you. You could stop, you could just quit because there is a lot of opposition and it feels like the world is crumbling on you and everything is just burning down and shattering right on you. Yet when you move and you move the whatever is shattering on you out of the way, you could use the rubble from that to literally build your empire. So you always have a choice. You would either stay on the ground or you can paraglide. So at the first hint of opposition, you have to ask yourself, are you the type of person who would just quit as the first hint of opposition? Do you doubt yourself at the first hint of opposition? And if you've been doubting yourself, what can make you feel better about yourself, or what can make you do better? Sometimes what makes you feel better about yourself is you actually doing better. So you need to just go ahead and do better. For me, it's been that sometimes I really doubt if I could sit and talk to this camera for more than 5 minutes. But once I start doing, I realize I will not stop yapping and I'll just keep going on and on and on. And by the end of it, I have a whole YouTube video. So there are also moments where you realize that resistance has actually strengthened your resolve and it's made you make progress. There are times when people have not believed in you and you just have to resolve it on yourself that I am going to do this, I am committed to doing this, and I will follow through with it. So just like any sport, you are told whenever you are going to hit, make sure there is a follow through. In golf, you hit and there's a follow through. Tennis, hit that and there's a follow through. It's the same thing in life. That opposition, that resistance should strengthen your resolve and have you make progress as the follow through. It's not just you believing in yourself, it's actually you following through with it by making progress. So it's those striking moments like it was with the paraglider that then give you that sense of whatever was opposition before is not really the opposition you believe it is, but sometimes it is one thing that moves you into the next thing. So just because they say that it's impossible doesn't mean that you will not be able to do it. It's like the thing with the 4 minute miler, which is who was Robert Bannister. Everyone was saying it was impossible. Science was saying it was impossible, and we define a lot of our world on science. But until it was done, it was impossible. So for you, it might be impossible until it is done. So why not go for it to make yourself a name that is actually known to have done the impossible? So you need to change that, your perspective. Usually it's just your perspective that you need to change. If you change your perspective on what resistance is in your life, what opposition is in your life, and the turbulence, it actually becomes the essential lift you need in order for you to achieve your goals. That resistance becomes a stepping stone for you to actually just step on and move to the next thing. Once you build those habits that change your attitude, that change your behavior and change your habits, you will literally just build a life from those moments of opposition, from those moments of resistance. So sometimes we overestimate the negatives, and that's true. We overestimate our barriers of entry to specific things, and that's true. But what you will need is to lower down that barrier of entry. If you were going to start building Lego sets, I have this huge 4,000 piece Lego set that I built. This was impossible for me to build before I started building it, but now it looks so beautiful. I don't remember which piece came first, but now that it looks like this, I had overestimated the negatives. I had overestimated the fact that, I could build this in one day or on Christmas Day and give it to myself as a Christmas gift. But once I just started moving and did not look at the negatives, then I moved on. I was tempted to give up on this, but I put it back on the table. I put it back right in front of me. And once I did that, I built something so beautiful and something that I will probably keep for myself or keep for my kids or whoever comes after me, and I can give it to them as a gift. So it's the same thing for you. There are some things that you have also put down on the table and you've said, this will be too big, or this will literally not be achievable for me. But for you, they are going to be achievable even when there is a lot of opposition. Sometimes it's reading the manual that's going to be bad. Sometimes you need to talk to someone who you vowed to never talk to before. But once you just start doing that, you will then use that opposition as a way for you to build new connections, build new friends, have new communities. And it's not only the things that are new that you would need in your life, sometimes it's the old things as well. So bring those old things back and just reframe them, restructure them, and know your purpose and your worth. And then once you use your opportunity, your resistance, and the turbulence, it becomes the essentials that you will need again to lift yourself. So, yeah, as you go today and face lots of oppositions, I just want to think of what you think has been something that has been an opposition in your life and how it could be an opportunity. I'm not saying everything, of course, that opposes your life is something that you need to use as a way up. Sometimes opposition is just meant to be destroyed, but there are oppositions that you could literally use as opportunity. So if you move on with it and you stay stuck on the essential lift, you will know that resistance, that opposition, whatever turbulences there are, whatever ops might be behind you, you can literally just use them as a way to propel yourself forward and be in a better position than you were in before. So yeah, cheers. Hope you have a great week and hope you do well this week in just being a greater human being. And just know that opposition is not meant to put you down, but it's meant to lift you up.